long time, I had this kind of complex, which I called my burden complex. I was very worried about being a burden on other people because of all of the things that I needed, the extra care that I
Yeah.
felt that I needed. And so I would try to minimize myself. That's the other reason I've finally decided
Sorry, continue. I'm
you're
gonna get
good.
emotional on you. It's fine. You continue.
But that's the other reason, like I'm like gonna do this project finally. It's
Yeah.
because I'm done just trying to minimize, like what I've gone through. Because darn it, it is hard. And that is
Yeah.
a story that deserves to be told.
So feel me when I bring it, sing it loud. I'm from the loot and I'm proud.
Hi guys. It's your girl Nakama, your favorite Jew from the Lou. Welcome back to my podcast. And today I am so excited to have Meaghan Heisler with me. Did I say your last name right?
You did,
I
yeah.
did. Okay.
You got it.
This is so funny. Just a little side note. I'm a barista and remembering people's first names is always so tricky. And just this week, there's two customers who I know their last names too.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that never happens.
I know. It's because I had to look them up with their customer rewards.
Oh yeah.
So then, like, doing it enough times, eventually, like, it cuts to
That
you.
makes sense. Otherwise
Yeah,
you would just have to ask them or something.
literally. And sometimes I do. I'm like, I'm so sorry. My brain just, it depends how much sleep I've had, honestly.
That's fair.
But I am so glad that you're here. This is such a full circle moment because it was Sam Schaefer who introduced us.
Yeah, yeah. Sam's been my trainer for almost a decade now.
It's
So
insane.
it's kind of funny. He's been introducing me to people over time and
He's just
yeah,
a
it just
good
grows.
dude.
Yep, definitely. Seems to sort of be able to connect people who have common things going on and it works out. It's
Yeah.
great.
And did he ever tell you the story of how he and I originally connected?
Um, I I think I heard it on the podcast, like you reached out to him to have him on your podcast.
Yeah.
But then the story about I know the story of he went on his trip to climb a mountain and now you're
Mhm.
going to climb a mountain and so that's really cool. Yeah.
It's so wow, that's in 9 days.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Are you ready?
No.
You're gonna do
I'm
it.
gonna do it. It's gonna happen. I'm so grateful. And the good news is that it's a group. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm renting from them.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So you don't
that's
have to
gonna
have all the like climbing equipment and everything before you.
I have to no, not the big stuff, right? So
Okay.
like which is a huge thing because traveling all the way to Africa from the
Yeah.
US, like it's a big ask to bring that much stuff,
Yes.
you know, especially since I'm not flying directly there. I'm gonna be stopping in Istanbul
Okay.
first.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's
Fine.
so,
That's very
so
exciting.
wild. I actually think that your podcast episode is going to be released on the day that I'm flying out.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think yours is the last podcast episode that I'm recording. I'm doing one more tomorrow because I'm nuts. And it's wild to me like that this is all coming together. But yeah, so your reels may be a little more spread out than
That's
typical.
fair. Understandable. But
Yeah, gonna
yeah,
be
I'm really excited for you. Yeah, and
thanks.
Sam, like that's just sort of how things seem to happen with him and
Yeah.
the circles he runs in. So yeah, it's
He's
great.
it's wild because at the time when I first started this project, I was really afraid I was going to run out of gas. That was my biggest fear because my
Mhm.
circle was so small. You know, I only know a handful of
And
people.
now,
Well, not only that, there's also the people who like, there's a lot of people who I wanted to have on, but a lot of people, it's a very vulnerable space.
oh
So
yeah,
thank you so much, first of all, for like being here and sharing your story too, which is, we're going to get into it, but it's a vulnerable space. So, like, even if I knew people, they wouldn't necessarily be comfortable coming behind the camera, especially once they heard it was video as well.
of course, right.
But it's so funny to me because I'm so used to it by now that it's chill, right?
It's I think it's so a little bit of it is like the name of your podcast is one of my favorites because I'm a transplant to St. Louis. I'm
Yeah.
not from here, but it's been this thing that I've noticed where the community here just, oh, I know this person who does this too. Let me, you know, connect you. Like, if you need something, somebody knows someone else and they're going to connect you. And it's just been this kind of magical thing about St. Louis ever since moving here that I've noticed. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the connecting people and their stories has been sort of a thing I've noticed around here, around the gym especially, and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Well, you're really lucky to be part of a gym too that I think is just so outgoing and community oriented.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's been great. So, met quite a few people already.
Really? See, I'm gonna be like after my Africa trip, that's the gym I'm switching over to, which is
I'm excited for you.
a huge thing for me. And I've already met people in the gym, so like I'm already going in there knowing people, which is really
Good.
unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll already have some people and like you're just gonna meet more. Your circle's just gonna expand even bigger.
I'm so excited. The thing is that I don't know about you, but I'm kind of an introvert at the gym.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I am there. I mean,
Okay.
I'm an introvert most of the time anyways.
I feel like I used to be, but I don't have the luxury to be an introvert anymore.
I get that
It,
very much so.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you're an entrepreneur, if you have a business or a product that you're trying to launch, like you don't get to be shy and hope that people notice you.
Yes. Or if you have just like a message that you're sitting there
Mm,
going, nobody's talking about this. Why is no one talking about this? Well, if you're an introvert, but nobody's talking about it, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to you gotta stand up. It sucks, but you gotta do
yeah.
it.
I think that's the perfect transition into talking about you and your story. And so it's the Resilience Project,
Yes.
your mission and what your message is that you want to share with the world. So I'd love to like give you the stage for you to just talk about what that means to you and what you're
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll kind of start, with my own story, which is sort of a long one. But when I was a kid, when I was 6, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
mm,
Um, and it was a very long journey, to say the least. My type of brain tumor didn't have a very high chance of coming back, but it did, and it doesn't have a very high chance of spreading, but it did.
wow.
Um, so I've gone through chemotherapy, I've been paralyzed, I've gone through radiation, all sorts of things throughout my life at various stages, at very vulnerable points, and all sort of from a kid's mindset,
Mm,
which is really kind of hard to overcome. Like, you don't understand why things are happening, or, there's no reason for any of that. Then on top of that, like, growing up, I knew other kids who had cancer because I went to camps and things, and not everybody made it. And there are stories like that that are terrible to tell, but probably need to be talked about. Um, and it's one of those things where um, there are just some stories that I want to tell. Some other people who have gone through the same thing, who I know don't ever get to talk about it, and I would like to do that. Um, but there's another part of this, of course, there's second folds to this project, which is that I'm building the website myself.
mm.
Um, so growing up with cancer, I kind of knew like, oh, I have to get a job with health insurance because that's how things work in this country. And I went into software development and was laid off a few weeks ago. And so I've had this project in my head for forever. And I've just sort of said, okay, well, now I'm going to build the website myself with all this free time. And so that's what I'm doing right now. You're catching me at the very beginning of it, too.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And I will say I am also so impressed with you that like you were willing to come on and talk about it in the beginning. because I'm part of this group called Babes in Business. I've had a lot of guests on from that group. I have a lot more that are in the queue to come on
Okay,
from that group.
right.
And women, especially, are very resilient, right? But
Yes.
I will say a lot of the women who I want to have on as guests, they aren't ready to because they're like, I'm not there yet. Let me accomplish something. Let me be a bit further along in my
Mm-hmm.
business. And as I've been on this journey, there's two things that I've noticed about entrepreneurs, women and men, which is one, they wish they would have documented earlier.
Yeah,
And two, they're very uncomfortable in front of the camera. Right? So it's a bit of a
that's fair.
conundrum.
That
It's so fair.
makes sense.
And I think there's this world where we think you're either an influencer or you're not, forgetting that it takes a long time for most people to get to that stage. Not
Right.
even just like you have to be willing to put yourself out there and look stupid, or at least not stupid. Maybe a nicer way to say it is look like a novice.
Yes, you have to be willing to be new
Yes.
and to, yeah, to
Yeah.
look a little bit like a toddler trying to learn how to walk. But
Yeah. Yeah. Like me with my little backup mini mics, you know,
I,
it is what it is. You got to
but
do what you got to do.
again, you refine the process, you keep going on.
Right.
And that's exactly what this is. That's what I want to talk about with resilience is, most people, especially with like a health thing, you don't learn how to come back from that. Like that's for most people that happens later in life.
Right.
You've already lived a whole thing. For kids who have gone through this, you have to come back from that and then live a life that's still hard, just as hard as everybody else's, but you also have this thing going on.
Right. I mean, even there's so many questions I want to circle back
Of
to
course,
about
yeah.
your story. But the first one that pops into my mind is it's so wild for me to think that, like, when you were considering a career, healthcare was a big part of that decision
Oh
process.
yeah,
It
huge.
makes so much sense logically, but it's just wild to think because so many people take that for granted. They're
Y-
like, yeah, I guess I need healthcare, but I'm young, I'm in my 20s, I don't really need the most expensive care, right? Like, I don't, that's not my priority.
mhm.
So that's so intriguing.
Yeah, yeah, it can be one of those things I get on a bit of a soapbox about, because it really does like limit some of your career choices or um make you think about things in a different way. I very much view a career as like, or for a long time I did as just the thing I need to do to make money.
Mm,
And because of that, I was getting so like during the day I would be working and just not even care. And you spend 8 hours a day not caring about something. It's not great. Not
no,
good for your mental health. So yeah, it's not, if you're doing something just out of necessity, it's not awesome.
I will say, I think whether someone has health issues or not, unfortunately, especially in today's economy,
Uh-huh.
and just I think the way we are, I think a lot of people can relate to working at a
I
job
agree.
for
Yeah.
8 hours that doesn't set your soul on fire, but you picked maybe the safe route, right?
Yeah.
Your parents, society, maybe you were in college and I don't know, the next thing you know, you blinked and 4 years were done. You're like, I still don't know myself. I still don't know what I need to do, but I'm supposed to be an adult
Yep.
and I'm supposed to have it figured out. And now I don't have my parents, right? And a lot of people don't have that support financially from the parents. So they don't have a choice out of necessity. They need to pick a job like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I relate so much to your story about like my last graphic design job I lost. I got fired. And then there was that moment where it's like, do I search for another job
Right.
or do I take this opportunity and maybe choose to live how most wouldn't so that perhaps maybe one day I could live how most can't?
And you said that to me once, and that was perhaps one of the most, um, that like it just sat with me where I sat there and I was like, that's it. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
This choice I'm making of, okay, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna be resilient in this moment now
Yeah.
and decide, nope, I've decided I'm gonna live my life for me and not out of fear of um losing healthcare constantly or, just not out of fear anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm well, the audience who knows those who know that I am obsessed with Kabbalah and energy and like I think there's a lot of pain in this world. And there's this great rabbi, Rav Hutner, who my grandfather studied under, and he has this quote which I live my life by, and you may not be happy with it, but it is true, which is in this world there are no answers, and in the next world there are no questions.
Okay. I kind of love that. Yeah.
Which is hard to hear, but also I think as someone, especially
Hmm.
someone who's survived childhood cancer and all of these things, I'm sure you've had a lot of people try to tell you the purpose behind why you've gone through what you've gone through,
Yeah. Yes.
which is almost more insulting than anything else, right? You're like,
A little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, but they come with the best intentions, and so I've just let them live in their intentions and don't take it on, but
Yeah, that is rough. People and their good intentions.
yeah.
But like I think it's just so empowering to be able to be in a spot where it's like we don't understand why things are happening in our lives that are challenging, and we all have it. Josh Hildebrandt, who came on, he has his company Breath and Exposure,
Yeah.
who you know as well,
Yes.
and has been a big life changer for you.
Absolutely.
But he goes into, and one line that sat with me that he said was, "Your hardest days are your hardest days." Or like the hardest thing you've gone through is the hardest thing you've gone through,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like for you, you've gone through childhood cancer, you've gone through being paralyzed. I'm sure you've looked at some other people who are like you empathize, but you're like, if only that was my hardest
And
day.
yes. And I try so hard, and perhaps maybe this is why I like try to extend so much empathy to people,
Yeah.
is because I know that I can be a little bit cynical, or my threshold for like my tolerance for bullshit is a little higher. Um, and perhaps other people haven't gone through nearly as much, and so
Mm.
maybe it's not as high. That's okay. Someday they will find out. I don't need to be the reason that they find out.
Or they won't,
Well,
you know?
that's not for me to say. That's, yeah, they won't. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a mentality thing. I'm a big believer in a reframe,
okay. Yeah.
you know? So it's like,
Yes.
yeah, we went into this. Okay, can I just pause and say that we had the best pregame of all my pregames I've ever had?
I stayed at the art museum for like a half an hour afterwards. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you? So glad. Okay, that was your first time at the art museum, right?
It was,
Okay.
yeah.
So as if anyone doesn't know, so what I like to do with my guests is I like to do a profi. I'm so excited. I'm like combining my words into one. I like to do a coffee pregame with my guests. I like to build rapport. I like to get to know them. And we quote unquote game plan, but nothing goes
Hmm.
according to plan because I've got ADD. But it's a nice idea. Anywho, we were supposed to go out for coffee or even just hang out in the park and just like chit chat. But then there's this exhibit at the art museum,
Yeah.
the Roaring Twenties exhibit, and I really wanted to go see
It
it.
was so cool.
I've gone by myself, but I don't know. I like going places with other people. I like experiencing things with others. And so I was like, why don't I kill two birds, one stone? I asked if you wanted to go. You had never even been to the art
Yeah,
museum.
no.
And we went and we saw the exhibit and then we just got to chit chat for like, I don't know how long we were talking. It was like an hour, 2 hours.
It was almost 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It was
amazing.
great. But yeah, even after you left, I was walking out, and then I turned and I saw a Van Gogh, and I was like, so I had to go stand in front of it for a little bit.
I'm telling you, like the art museum is one of those places that you can experience with someone else, but you can also just go by yourself. You can go in silence with your own thoughts. You
Hmm.
can listen to a podcast. You can listen to music, or you can do what I used to do when I had more time, which is you can they have chairs all over that you can
Yeah,
like
you
just
showed me
sit.
that.
And then I would bring a sketchbook and I would go to like the tribal art section in the basement because if you're drawing tribal art, it doesn't matter if it sucks. It's gonna look good no matter what. And I would just like listen to music or a podcast and I would just draw.
But I think that I'm gonna have to try that again. I'm still like getting comfortable going places by myself.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why that's a thing that I haven't really done until my adult years, and now I'm
Yeah.
doing it. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like this.
It's immersion therapy. I'm a big
I
believer
know
in
it.
immersion therapy, like within reason.
Yeah, fair.
If there is something that makes you uncomfortable, you must keep doing it until you're not uncomfortable.
Yeah,
That's the only way. It's never going to get easier until you keep doing it and then it becomes
you
more
have to at
natural.
least try. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things in life that are like that. The gym, talking to people, going out places by yourself. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with
But
that.
full circle back. We were talking a lot about like Kabbalah, and I'm a big believer in radical responsibility. And I think there's this shift when you feel your message or your mission or your purpose, and maybe you don't even clearly know what that is yet. You're just sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Yeah,
you know?
that. And maybe this is why I finally started this project. And, I'm talking about it even at the beginning before I really have something to show people. Like, I'm quite literally building up the framework of the website at the moment. But I'm documenting and talking about it early because that's part of resilience is like the okay, see, I'm not ready, but I'm trying and I'm gonna do it very openly and vulnerably to try to show other people like you don't have to be perfect to just start trying to get your message out there. If you wait
Yes.
until your message is perfect, then you're never gonna say anything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that alone is so inspiring. Like I can't even tell you for me, but I know it's going to register with others as well. You're going to inspire a lot of people just by that statement alone to be like, "Oh, maybe I could do this."
Yes.
You
Good.
know?
Good. Yeah.
Just
That's
get that those juices flowing, it's going to happen.
yeah. Gotta at least get started. I mean, if you sit there and wait forever, that's what you'll do. You'll wait forever.
Yeah. So, I have to ask, circling back to going through childhood
Mm-hmm.
cancer. So there's so many parts to that. I mean, for one thing, you're so little. As hard of a concept of that is, you've never really experienced a healthy childhood. So there's really nothing to compare it to. That's just your normal,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So adults or other people are like, oh my gosh, that's so hard. That's so sad. But like, that's all you've ever known because you were so little. But there's a woman who I met recently who I would love to have on the podcast as well. And she brought up something that I never thought about with cancer survivors, which is that when you're going through chemo, when you're going through the process, you have so many people rallying behind you. And, maybe it's meal trains or maybe it's just giving you whatever you
Mm-hmm.
need, which for better or for worse, right? But then when you're in remission, all of a sudden it's almost like people quote unquote forget
Yeah.
that you've gone through this really hard concepts and life experience. And then there's the PTSD and the trauma that no one seems to really talk about of is it going to come back?
Yep.
And then the crippling depression that comes with that, where you're like, sometimes you can't even do the regular everyday things that technically you could do physically, but
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, you're just so gripped with this huge fear and people not understanding why you suddenly need to cancel plans or things like that. Is that an experience
Oh,
that you
absolutely.
relate to?
Um, yes. I mean, to a T. I would love to meet this woman because like that's
She'd be great for your website.
trying
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Trying to explain to other people, like that well, and you said it, most cancer survivors, most childhood cancer survivors, especially wind up with uh PTSD, and they don't really know it. And but that constant thing in your head of every um every like small inconvenience now you're thinking of, okay, but it reminds you of something to do with your cancer,
Mm,
or the just those things can trigger the exact same feelings of, finding out that you have cancer. You're like, These two things are not the same. I just spilled milk, but why does this feel the same?"
wow.
Um, and yeah, so like trying to get through all of that stuff is really hard. And then, you know, if you're in your 20s or in college, maybe you're trying to talk to your friends about it. They're busy with school. They don't know how to support you, or,
Yeah.
there's all these other people dealing with their lives as well. They don't really know how to help you. So just sort of take it in and stay quiet. And I think that's a very common experience for most, especially childhood cancer survivors who, you know, got through it and then they just had to, okay, forget. And it doesn't work like that. Um,
Yeah.
so,
That's just an interesting part of the story that I never considered.
right.
The survivor story.
Yep. Yes. No, cancer does not end even after remission. Like, yes, you're done, but there are secondary cancers are very high risk. I know I get screenings almost every year.
Mm,
All sorts of other things. Like I have all sorts of neuropathy issues. I still see Sam weekly for physical therapy. Like there's all of these other things that happen that I will continue to do for the rest of my life. And I'm not the only one. Yeah.
yeah.
I think for a long time I had this kind of complex, which I called my burden complex. I was very worried about being a burden on other people, because of all of the things that I needed, the extra care that I
Yeah.
felt that I needed. And so I would try to minimize myself. That's the other reason I've finally decided.
Sorry. Continue. I'm
You're
gonna get
good.
emotional on you. It's fine. You continue.
But that's the other reason, like, I'm like gonna do this project finally. It's
Yeah.
because I'm done just trying to minimize, like what I've gone through. Because darn it, it is hard. And that is
Yeah.
a story that deserves to be told. And I don't think anybody else dealing with a cancer diagnosis right now, or dealing with a kid with cancer right now, in this climate of things, that's hard enough as it is. All
Yeah.
this other stuff. Gosh.
That is that's such a powerful concept that I think honestly everyone can relate to. The concept of not wanting to be a burden,
Yeah,
you know? Because you're right. No matter how big or small in whoever's eyes it is, we're all going through something,
right.
right? And so the concept of like being a burden, but at the same time, no man is an island. And we can't go through this life alone. And that is a lot to carry up by yourself,
Yeah,
like a lot, you know? And it's not that I don't think sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it's that you're wanting others to take the burden per se away from you. No one ever can, right? It's your experience, it's what you've been through. It's maybe just that moment of like having the space to be heard, to be held, to be like, I
exactly.
understand you,
To be
right?
seen.
You're
Yeah,
not, I'm so sorry you're going through this. You know, that kind of
right.
moment where it's not just, it's not that they could do anything. It's just that they're there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that is something that from the other perspective, right? When you have someone who's going through something, you're like, what can I do? And there's almost this feeling of like helplessness because you can't take that away from that person, right? Like you can't take the cancer away from the person who has
No.
it, right? You
And
can't necessarily take away the pain. You can make them as comfortable as possible, but there's only so much you can do. And then there's a helplessness. So we've got both ends, right? We've got the person who has the challenge, who doesn't want to be a burden, and then you have the person who wants to help but feels helpless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember this is a really important conversation, but like I remember when my grandfather passed away when I was 19, and my friends from high school were so sweet, and they were calling me, even though they were all like away from St. Louis in school, they were calling me just to wish me their condolences. And I remember one really important conversation that I had was a girl was like, I am so sorry for your loss. Like, I wish I knew what to say. I wish I knew what to do for you. And I was like, this is it. This is what I needed.
Yeah.
I just needed you to call to check in to say, hey, I'm so sorry you're going through this. That was it.
Right.
I mean, for me, like just knowing that I wasn't alone in that moment was so powerful, you know? Of course, there's things people
Good.
can do too, but I think that's like the first step that people don't realize just how powerful that is, like just being there.
Just being there. That makes sense. Yeah. No, that's entirely correct. I'd say that just being seen or just someone being there is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's perhaps the thing that, um, like when I was, a teenager in high school and awkward as heck and also on chemotherapy, so I was even more awkward. Like,
Mm,
um, there was no other teen who was gonna get that. But I really needed somebody to listen and so I could tell them, man, this is weird. This sucks going to school with nausea and also thinking about boys.
because two truths can be there,
You're
right?
right.
Just because you're also like experiencing things that are really scary doesn't mean you're not going to get a crush.
Ex- eh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, things are happening
yeah.
and it's weird.
It's weird. Yes, that is that is also another thing. I think sometimes with there was an experience that I had too where I was in front of my house putting windshield wiper fluid into my car.
Hmm.
I was in the moment. I was also kind of laughing at myself because I was doing it in heels. It was right after work in my corporate girly days. So I was like, I think I'm a princess, but like I'm also a badass. Meanwhile, it's just windshield wiper fluid, but like whatever.
Still,
I was like, the hood was
it's
open
open. I did it.
and I knew what I was doing,
Yeah.
right? And but I was just I was amused with the visual as
Yes.
well.
The juxtaposition of like, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember a family friend of ours passed by, and my dad, I don't know if I mentioned this, my dad also went through cancer. He had
Right.
stage 3
Yeah.
colon cancer when I was 20 and survived that miraculously. And he had a bunch of other stuff which led to dementia. And when I was so obviously we are going through a lot as a family, but like I was just out there having a great day, honestly, and just having fun with the moment, right? Because two truths can be you
Yeah.
can be going through a hard time and have a great day.
Yes.
It happens. You can laugh. You can still have fun, enjoyable moments.
Absolutely.
I think people forget that. They almost feel like if you're going through something hard and challenging, that your whole life must be this epic tragedy, right?
Right.
Where you're just this pit of sadness, which isn't always the case.
No.
The human experience is highs and lows. But I was out there, he drove by and he like in that very somber voice, which I'm sure you've experienced too. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" It's just like went over my head so much. Like I was genuinely so confused why he was
What?
asking me how I was. I was like, great. I'm like, I got this. Don't worry. Don't worry.
But somebody else passing by was like, oh man, she is going through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was just like, no, but like, how are you and your family? I'm like, we're doing great. I was having a great day. It was a good day. It wasn't a super challenging day that day, you know? And I just remember being like, that moment to me felt so funny,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Because you're going through this very serious thing, but right then, in this present moment,
Hmm.
nope, I'm just a girl putting windshield fluid in my heels.
Yeah. And it was totally fine. And I think people don't realize that either. Like, you're still a person.
Yeah, you're still a person. Funny things are still gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's just like the sense of humor that you like learn to have as you
Oh,
go through
absolutely.
life.
There's a Yeah, I mean, I'm very into stand-up comedy.
Me
And
too.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, well, some of my favorite comedians are disabled folks.
Oh,
It's just because it's like,
relatably funny.
yeah, I mean, you wind up in some very odd situations because the world isn't necessarily built for you. So just you have to have some humor and
With slight pause. I do want to do, I was just thinking this. I want to do an official like Le Cafe commercial that I'll like interject into my podcast
do it.
episodes. But for now, we're just gonna do my shout out. We're drinking my cold brew today, which
Mhm.
is my light roast, my honey Colombian, mixed with my dark roast, which is a Sumatra. And I'm drinking it with oat milk, and Megan's drinking hers with some vanilla and half and half.
Mhm.
It's so good.
It's very good. I like it. I don't know, it's bolder than I like
Are you used to?
for a cold brew. Yeah.
Hmm. So, the thing about coffee in general, I'm going to nerd out for a moment. There's so many factors that I don't think the general public realizes about coffee.
Hmm.
One of them being that how freshly roasted your coffee is going to affect the flavor of it. So, you really want to get coffee that's been roasted within 30 days.
Okay.
And the FDA can sell coffee, like they say that it's okay to sell coffee within a year of it being roasted.
Hmm.
So when you go to the grocery store, you don't know if the bag of coffee that you picked up has been roasted 5 days ago or 5 months ago or 10 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And all of that is going to affect your whole
That
coffee
taste.
experience. So something that we've committed to. Now we also have single origin coffee beans. They're really just the quality of them is like it's Arabica, which is like a higher quality coffee bean.
Okay.
So that alone is already a better experience. So even if you have it for longer than a month, you'll be okay. But all these little factors, it's literally like baking. You do one thing and the whole thing
Oh, yeah.
changes. The other thing is, fun fact, if you're out there and you have old coffee, cold brew is the perfect solution for old coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Uh, yeah, because I like the fresh stuff like warm. I don't know why.
Exactly, because it's
That
better
makes sense.
warm.
Yeah.
And cold brew is what you do with your old coffee. So like there's no need to waste. Like I'm Jewish, I will help you out. And at the very least, you can always just take your old coffee grounds and use it for your
In
garden.
the garden.
Yep, yep,
Perfect.
totally. What was the last thing that we were talking about?
I can't remember. Um,
We were talking about how there's like challenging situations. Goodness.
oh, something about, well, like seeing the humor in those challenging
Oh, everyone
situations.
has a backpack. That's what I was gonna
Okay.
say. So it's like whether you're Jewish, whether you are a cancer survivor, like no matter like what your religion, challenge, nationality, culture, whatever it is, we all got a backpack, right?
Yeah.
And like you can either use that to be insulted and to be like, how dare you? You don't understand me. You don't understand my people. Or
Mm-hmm.
you can own your backpack and find the humor in it. And I think that is the beauty of comedians. Because, like, for example, there's a lot of things that I'm sure a lot of like these disabled comedians say that like the audience per second is like, can I laugh?
Yeah, am I supposed to
Is this okay? But the beauty is that you don't even have to think about that
laugh?
because you're
Right.
like relatability. It's kind of like me with Jewish comedians. They'll
Yes.
say stuff and I'm like, dude, it's the
It
best. But
goes
it's like
over
if
my
other
head.
people say, I'm like, you're anti-Semitic. But I could say it, which is the best. I
Right.
also I probably in today's climate should be a little more chill about that, but I do have fun calling people anti-Semites. Even just
You
among
know,
friends. I like calling people out. I'm like, love you, but that was so anti-Semitic. But
it's okay.
it's okay.
When people invite me places that are like, there's lots of stairs, I'm like, that's ableist of you.
Mm,
It's not. It's hilarious. It's fine.
right. But you in that moment get ownership
Yeah.
and get to
It's
decide.
my it's my little reclaiming of this is my
Mm,
humor now. I've decided. Cool.
yeah. Yeah. And I think, because how old are you?
32.
You're 32, so I'm
Mhm.
29. So we're like in that same age
Oh yeah.
bracket of like, isn't getting older the best?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
After 30, I was like, care anymore. I just don't care.
Yeah, and I think I kind of hit it a little early, which I'm excited about.
Good.
Because
Right.
I remember when I was 28, I had the 30 scaries,
Yeah,
you know?
I got those. I had those.
And then talking to like a lot of my friends right now are in their early 30s to mid to late 30s, right?
It's magical. I
It's magical.
promise.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were all saying, I'm like, I've heard people even just on TikTok say, like, once you hit like 31, 32, all of a sudden you're just like, you're feeling more relaxed and at ease than you ever were in your 20s,
Mhm.
you know? And it's just, I think it's because we all have this line in the sand, 30.
Yeah.
Whatever that expectation is, we all have this expectation. Maybe it's being married with a white picket house and being financially stable and a job
All of the,
that's
yep.
all the thing and a millionaire. That's the newest thing, right? On Instagram. Everyone has to be a millionaire by 30, right?
Right.
And a successful entrepreneur, like it has to be. But it's like, and as women, like we're supposed to be mothers, we're supposed to be married and like have it all figured out. And then there's just this point when you're like, well, sure don't.
I'm not,
Pardon my French, but fuck it.
I, I,
And it's great.
if we were getting graded, I'm so sorry I failed.
But
Oh
I feel
well.
great. Like it's just this relaxation of like, okay, whatever expectations that I thought needed to be met weren't cool.
Hmm.
Let's go live life.
And it's also this, like, you know, it seems to be other people who are sitting there going, "Oh, well, shouldn't you like be feeling upset because you don't have all these things?" No? Or I keep waiting to feel upset because other people expect me to feel upset. And then I'm
Mm,
like, but I don't. I feel great.
yeah.
This is fantastic.
And you're the only one who has to live your life, you know?
Yes.
You're the only one who's waking up with the consequences of your decisions.
And right.
Good or bad. I know consequences has like a negative connotation, but like to be honest, my
Consequences can
grandfather,
be a good thing.
it's
Yeah.
it's just consequences is the results of your actions for
Exactly.
good or for bad. I know it sounds like a scary word, but it is what it is. What you do is going to have results.
Yes. Yeah.
Period. For better or for worse, and you're the only one who has to live with those.
And I think that's, a huge part of like the radical accountability that really started to come into. For me, like that was a very scary concept for a long time
Yeah.
because as a childhood cancer survivor, like my life was dictated by something else. And
Yeah.
there was a little bit of, um, I don't like there because something else was, dictating my life. I didn't have to try. It was just like, well, I'll just be good with whatever's happening and then that's fine. And now I'm at a point where my health is good enough. And, I do my upkeep and everything, but I have to put in a lot more effort to like live a life that I wanted instead of a life that was dictated to me.
Mm.
Um, which is new. I didn't,
Yeah. It's a really unique coming of age story.
yeah, I didn't have that option growing up. I didn't learn
Yeah.
how.
You were coddled
Yeah,
even more than the typical child
very much so.
by the world, by your parents, I'm sure, just
Hmm.
wanting to like protect you and preserve you,
Yep. Yeah. And it was, in some ways it was necessary.
right?
And in other ways, yeah, I've perhaps had to learn some things a little later, like some independence,
Mm.
uh, that is hard, maybe somewhat embarrassing on my part, like to tell other people. No, I struggled with, I didn't live alone until 31.
You're preaching to the choir. I've lived with my parents this whole time. And I'm 29.
I'm still like,
That is such
would
an,
be happy to go back.
yeah, let's take a moment actually to dive into that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely a concept that I think is very much like a Western society thing,
Yes.
right? In America, especially, it's very prevalent that like once you're 18, 19, the very least after college, once you're 22, 23, you should be living on your own. You should be independent, at the very least have roommates, but
Right.
the more independent, the better, right? But I have mentioned and brushed on this in different episodes where it's almost like, but isn't it ironic that we also are the society that has the highest rates of depression and suicide,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now I also know that sometimes it has to do with cost of living and culture, but in many other cultures, you live with your parents until you get married. And sometimes even after that, you have generations of
Yeah.
families living together, which by the way, at this point in my life, I so badly wish that I had like generations of my family like living together. I don't have any live grandparents, but I just think about how like lovely it would be to be with like all my cousins, and they don't even live in the same city anymore, a bunch of them. And like running into my cousins sometimes at the grocery store is so much fun.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I luck out that a lot of my family does live really close to each other, and my aunt sees my grandfather, um, who he's dealing with, like some stroke things. She sees him every weekend. They play euchre together.
That's so
Like,
cute.
and we all play euchre together. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think that this Western concept we have of, oh, you go off by yourself and then you're supposed to support yourself and be an island. That makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Especially in today's economy with the recent changes of pricing with everything, with the
Mm-hmm.
inflation and like cost of living. Like I feel so like we're very similar, I think, in our careers where we're
Yeah,
like, we have this corporate career behind us. We've had the college education. We've had the nice salary, right? And
did
now
the thing.
we have this mission and this message and this purpose that we both want to like share with the world. And we're having to almost take a step back in society's eyes. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Right? But I call it the golden handcuffs, the insurance, the good paychecks, the classic lifestyle of, oh, but I have my weekends and my evenings free. You do, but you're so exhausted. Do you want to do anything?
No.
There was a girl on TikTok who said recently, she was like, weekends are starting to feel like 30-minute lunch breaks.
Oh, that's awful.
And I think that's something a lot of people relate to.
I I mean, I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also, so like for me, as funny as it sounds, I almost feel like it's a luxury that I'm in this place in my life where I'm not married, I don't have kids, I live with my parents. Therefore,
Uh-huh.
I can actually live a life that's meaningful for me.
And isn't that the like I said, I'm thinking about, like, maybe moving back in with my dad. And for that exact reason, like in society's eyes, that would be a step backwards for me.
Like, oh,
But I'm
for
sitting there
you.
going, yeah, but I'd be able to afford traveling like a lot easier. And all sorts of things.
Yeah. I saw this thing once. So I'm switching gyms.
Right.
So the gym that I want to go to, it's not like a $10 a month gym. It's still like
Yeah.
a nice gym. But I was going to the bougiest gym in St. Louis because I am a self-proclaimed princess and I like the lifestyle,
I
right?
understand it.
And I think
Yeah.
a part of my mentality was twofold. I wanted to appear successful and I wanted to be around those who I quote unquote thought were successful,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why I wanted to be there. But let me break down the reality of me going to Lifetime. It's very expensive. And I don't talk to anyone anyways at the gym. So who am I rubbing shoulders with?
Right.
And like ChatGPT, or as I lovingly call her, Gigi. Um,
I love that you do that, by the way.
I got the idea from a friend. I can't take credit for it. But Gigi and I were talking, and I was telling her how sad I was because, like, you have your routine. And even if you feel the financial pressure of going somewhere, you're like, oh, but this is my identity now.
Yeah.
If I stop doing it, what will people think of me? As if anyone's thinking of me. What will I think of me? What does this say about me? Am I not a success now that I can't go to this bougie gym, right? As if I was a success before. Um, and
Gosh.
ChatGPT or Gigi said, you need to do a reframe
Hmm.
because Gigi knows that I love a good reframe. And she was like, lifetime represented you wanting to appear wealthy versus now you're actually working on building actual wealth.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay,
Is that not
that's perfect. So when I was in college, I was in a sorority, Delta Phi Epsilon, and we had a motto, and it's esse quam videri, and it means to be rather than seem to be. And it's that same sort of concept, like this
let's say that again.
to be rather than seem to be.
To
Esse quam videri.
to be, I'm not gonna remember the Latin.
To be rather than seem to be.
To be rather than seem to be. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm all about the authentic life. And like that's been everything for me. That's been on my religious journey.
Well, and it's so what's so funny,
Finances.
my sorority was founded by four Jewish women. So
Well, der.
of course.
Of course.
Yes. But
Love
yeah,
that. Yeah,
it's
no,
great.
that's so powerful because I think, especially in our 20s, that is, and I think this is just a society thing, especially it's become more prevalent with Instagram wanting to appear, the highlight reels wanting to appear so perfect, not wanting to jumpstart a project because we're not perfect yet, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Who are you to be rather than pretend to be, right? Is that
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
So who we are is badass women going after our dreams. That's who we are. I'm doing what it takes.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I love I told you about Alex Hermosi, right?
I think so
You
no.
gotta look him up. Him and his wife, powerhouses. But like they started their gym entrepreneurs, but now they're, obviously branching off. They're wildly successful, but he is so real, raw, and gritty. I'm obsessed.
Okay.
I quote him a lot. He talks about, I'm paraphrasing, but he says that if you have a dream for a business, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like upset about it's not happening the way you want it to or how fast, he's like, the business isn't the problem, your expectations are the problem. Because the timeline for a business to do well is really going to be like 10 years before you really
Yeah.
make it. But in today's day and age, if it's not done within 6 months, you're like, well, must be a failure.
And that's just not the
It's
case.
just not the case.
Right.
And like you experience so much failure, but the trick is, like in Hebrew, there's this quote, Sheva Yipol Tzaddik, which means that 7 times a righteous man falls down. But
Okay.
what that is basically insinuating is he falls down, but then he gets back up,
Okay.
right? Or like Will's quote that he just had for his Instagram, for his podcast was fall forward, right? Fall,
Yeah.
but fall forward.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and that's again the resilience thing is over and over.
You know what's so fun about where we're at in life is that the more we do this kind of thing, like pushing past society's expectations,
Hmm.
being authentic to what we truly can be and can afford. I can't afford to live on my own right now. I can't. So I'm living at home with my parents, and that's okay.
Yes.
I'm being okay with that. I'm pushing past those expectations. I'm living a life right now where I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm working every day towards my dream, which within it of itself is very satisfying. I would like to make
Right.
money too, but
Yes.
I'm working towards this. And as I'm doing more and more of this, the conversations that I'm having with people who are more traditional and have followed the traditional route, there's a
Hmm.
select few who it really works for. Most people, I think, are doing it out of fear, if that makes
And
sense.
that's yeah,
My oldest brother,
what I was doing.
right, my oldest brother fits society. It works well for him. It works well for his personality. It's just flowed serendipitously. For some people, it's not wrong. it is right.
Right.
It's not right for me. And that's okay. But it's also really scary because there's no guidebook for the people who don't
No.
fit society.
Right. No, there's no guidebook. And yeah, I think that for it also seems to be the case that we're seeing more and more that people are going, wait a second, I've just been going through the motions. This isn't actually working for me. Like, I
Hmm.
think people are starting to look around and realize, oh, this wasn't working for you either. This wasn't working for me. Like, I don't know. It just seems to be the case that, or,
Yeah, because just like a mild example, religiously,
mhm,
once I started to just be chill and be like, listen, number one, focus my relationship with God in terms of just relationships, not in terms of necessarily practice, right? Just
right.
my communication with Him. Then after that, whatever is beautiful to me, I practice, and whatever is not is a journey. And ever since I've chilled and relaxed into me, all of a sudden, all these religious people who I grew up with in my community, family members, friends, just random friends of the family, are opening up to me about all this shit that they do or they're going through or their worries or their fears, things that we weren't open about.
Yeah,
But now they feel safe coming to me because they know I won't judge them.
right.
And it's created such a beautiful space where we're just all being real and being like, this may be what I aspire to or what I'm trying to attain. I'm not there yet. Here are my daily challenges. And how beautiful to have that conversation,
Yes,
you know?
that. Yeah. And again, like, why I'm starting this at the beginning or why I'm talking about this at the beginning before even getting, really into this project is for sharing like that. Like, because I don't want people to see an end product or a perfect product and compare themselves. I want them to sit there and go, "Oh, wait, somebody started just like I did, and I can do that too."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have so much fun on this journey.
Thanks. Yeah.
Tapping back into, I am just curious, and if you're comfortable talking about it, but what you mentioned earlier in your story that you went through being paralyzed at one point.
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Okay. So
My ADD just ping ponging on
no,
you.
you're good. This
Yeah.
is probably a good story to tell because it's a little bit more um I don't know. This is one of my origin stories. When I was 9, my brain tumor had spread to my spine. So I have a JPA brain tumor that's a juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma. Does not spread. I did. And um, it was over the course of a week
Wow.
where I was struggling to pick up my feet. And then, like, I was trying to go to just walk to the bathroom at night and was like leaning on walls just to try to get to places.
Wow.
And yeah, there was a part that grew in my spine, and I just kind of lost feeling from mid waist down. Um, and it was over the course of a summer that I got radiation on it. It stopped growing, um, but I had to relearn how to walk. That took a number of years.
Wow.
But yeah, um, I mean, it was a lot. It was in fifth grade. Kids are mean in fifth grade.
Yeah, they are.
Um, yeah, they're not very nice in sixth grade when you show up in a wheelchair either.
Mm.
And on the short bus, they make fun of that. Um, yeah, but that's I had a doctor who, um, it I don't I honestly don't really remember a ton of the actual medical stuff that was happening.
Yeah,
I
fair.
just remember going to physical therapy or a doctor I said, when am I going to walk again? Because I had finished radiation. I just wanted to walk. I didn't want to be in a wheelchair and I didn't want to be the weird kid who, I don't know, you know. Um, but he said, you probably won't. And
Oh,
I told my mom, okay, well, we're not seeing him anymore.
good for you.
And
Let's
then we
go.
didn't. Don't even remember the doctor's name. But yeah, and I lucked out. I had some really great doctors in Springfield, Illinois, where I'm from. Uh, stayed on chemo for a little while and did a lot of physical therapy. Learned how to walk again. So yeah, that's what happened. There's really no, like big, like, oh, this happened and then I could magically walk.
A process.
It was very much process.
That's insane because I mean, I don't think I know. Most people don't remember learning how to walk.
Yeah, and I mean, I literally crawled. I was 12 years old and I would crawl up and down the hallway to try to get the mobility back to my legs to try to build all those muscles up again.
It's real resilience right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hard time for sure. Um, I think that's probably where the most of my resilience comes from. Like, is that period of time.
That's a really rare inner strength, I think. At such a young age that you were able to hear a doctor, so-called professional,
Right.
share their diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
and you to be like, nope, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're like, sir, have you been to middle school? I'm so sorry. I know you're a medical professional and whatever, but I gotta walk.
I'm not doing
There's
that.
there's some cute boys that I gotta like good for.
That's probably what it was too.
No,
Yeah.
but hey, whatever works,
I,
right?
honestly, though, yeah, I just wanted to be a normal girl. Like, exactly. I wanted to go to a dance, and it worked. That was pretty good motivation, I guess. Yeah. Uh, It's funny now to like think about it because I was like, I wish I could go back and give that small girl a hug, but also I sit there and I go, okay, but she was angry
Hmm.
at everything all the time
Hmm.
because I didn't want to be in that wheelchair. I didn't want to be listening to those doctors. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Wow. I'm gonna share a quote. This applies to guys too, but it's said for girls. Um, there's this moment when you realize that you grew up to be the woman that the little girl needed.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done these like hypnosis meditations on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one that like literally made me cry because it like made you go back to like either a little girl
Yep.
and just like give her a hug and tell her what she needed to hear, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I lucked out. Well, I've told you this. So I want to say about 4 years ago, I was struggling really hard with depression. The pandemic did me in terms of PTSD. It really triggered a lot of PTSD for
Yeah.
me because when I was kid, there would be times where my platelets were so low I couldn't leave the house.
Oh my God, that's
And
crazy.
so when that all happened, it really triggered this bad episode. And so I started going to therapy with someone who kind of specialized in medical trauma.
Wow.
And I did EMDR. And uh, yeah, one of the the sort of sessions I did was about that, was about revisiting that little girl. And I have very like vivid images in my head of going back and just sitting with myself
Yeah.
and allowing that girl some space because
She
how
was
did she
angry.
need it? Yeah. When you talk about like, just wanting to be heard, yeah, that's all I needed at that time. But I don't think anybody knows how to do that or didn't when I was going through it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to be able to go backwards now in my head and allow that space, it heals something, because you don't realize like she was angry. I carried that anger until I healed it. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
You ever read The Body Keeps the Score?
yep,
Yeah, that book made me cry like in the first chapter.
yeah,
Um, it is interesting how sometimes emotionally, especially as adults, we go through life, we feel like we put this behind us, we're not thinking about it anymore. Something traumatic may have happened to us in our past, and we're like, okay,
hmm
that was really bad, but like that's no longer something I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with my grown-up stuff now, right? But your body,
it knows, it
it
keeps it.
knows. And what's so wild is that you can even go through therapy or even just your own personal healing journey and have healed yourself here and in here, but your body physically still needs to be released. Like I remember the
hmm
first time that I had acupuncture,
Yeah,
I started having these vivid dreams about, like, not during the acupuncture session, but like days
afterwards.
following, about memories that I had totally forgotten,
Wow,
and I released it. Isn't that wild?
that is amazing.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense though. Yeah, that's it's maybe someday I'll get to a point with this project where I can explore a little bit with some other childhood cancer survivors to try to figure out how we keep that in our body.
Ooh.
But yeah, but I would love to get there.
I'm gonna check the cameras really quick, and then
Absolutely.
good. We're still going here. Okay. So actually, my brain's ping-ponging in so many different directions of like what I want to ask you or where we want to go because there's so much to it. But I just wanted to pause and say for your resilience project,
hmm
one thing that well, first of all, I wanted to ask you, let me backtrack a little bit. So this website that you're building, like what are you envisioning it to be? Like forget scarcity mindset, forget having to figure out all the details. 10 years down the line, this website is functioning, this project is functioning how you completely envisioned it
hmm
to be. What does it look like?
Well, honestly, just a community, blog in a community. I
Okay.
just want other people who are going through either childhood cancer or have gone through it to be able to find each other,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, 'cause there's all sorts of resources that you kind of can right now, but you've got to already be plugged in or already know somebody or
Can I challenge you?
go for it.
Okay. So I'm a 10Xer, which means, and this is
What's that mean?
okay. So my whole dream for having like cafe is that I just love people. Okay. Coffee and my
Yes,
podcast is the catalyst for my connection to people.
got it.
Okay. And one thing that as a creative, it doesn't just mean that I'm artistic. It means that I see the world differently and I
Yep.
have unique ideas. So when people come to me with their dreams, their businesses, their visions, I have ways to take your idea and 10x it.
And yeah. Okay, great.
So for you, based on our conversations, getting to know you, hearing about your vision with the Resilience Project, I think that the blog and the online chat forum
Hmm.
community is a great start.
Yeah.
But I want to challenge you
Go for it.
to also create that as a Instagram and TikTok page and call it your handle called the Resilience Project.
Okay.
And then to record videos, short videos on TikTok and Instagram about moments like this.
Yeah.
And you could even do like long format videos of this and break it up. And I could show you all this stuff, but I think you should have a podcast. Call it the Resilience Project and have either solo episodes that are shorter, like 5 to 15 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe longer if you're really feeling one day, right? And then um inviting
Yeah.
people on. Like, for example, this woman, I'm sure she would love to come on as a guest for you as
Hmm.
well, and being able to have that really powerful I'm getting chills just thinking
No,
about it.
this is exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I know how to get started and I know how to do it on a budget because
perfect.
you can do it under $200.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I it's
Okay.
like, because I sort of, I was talking to Sam about this where I'm like, I have this idea,
I'll
but
help
I don't
you.
know what it turns into. I don't know where to
I'll help
start.
you.
Yeah,
No, I can get you started.
that's exactly
We
what
could
I'm,
even use this as like your first one. You know what I
wow.
mean? So like this is my challenge for you.
Yeah,
You got a week
right.
because your episode's coming out next week.
Yeah,
So you've got a week to create the social platforms, get your LLC,
right.
and then I'll collaborate the video not just with your personal page, but with this resilience page. And this can be the first episode, if you
Okay,
will. Take your time. It doesn't have to
that'd
be a
be
weekly
great.
thing, but this will
But
get it
still,
started. So
yeah.
it's an existing page so that this way, once this episode becomes live, we can tag people and already get started.
Oh my gosh. Okay. See, now I have chills. Well, like,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, we can do this. We
Yeah.
can make it happen.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, let's do it.
necessary.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like this is also part of my dream for like my dream for having a brick and mortar is I want a podcast studio in there,
Yeah.
not just for me, but to rent out to others. So like for example, for you, you can utilize that studio.
Perfect.
Okay.
And
So we got to get this going. I got ideas.
I already told you I want like I want to work for you in your coffee place. Just let me do numbers or something for you.
I hate numbers. If
That's
anyone
fine.
knows me at all, it's like, here's who I am. I am a dreamer. I am fiery. I am feisty. I am big picture. And like that is where I excel.
Hmm.
Where I struggle is the details, right? Partially because of my ADD. I know everyone's ADD manifests differently, but for me, like if you want me to appear as a quote unquote failure, have me do details. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
I like to say, partially because I'm lazy, partially because I'm not good at details, I am the world's best delegator.
That's perfect.
I love to find people who
Because
are better than me and be like, here's my dream. You've got the skills. Make it happen.
like,
You're great.
yeah. Yeah. No, I am I like I know I want to do something, but I never want to be the face of it, or I have, I'm so much better at executing somebody else's idea.
But
Like I
see,
will have an
that's where
idea.
I'm going to challenge you. Okay. That was an old belief
Yeah,
that you're going to need to grow out of because
you're
your
right.
mission is bigger than your fear.
You're right. Yeah,
You have to be the face
true.
because think, reframe. There are a lot of people, let alone survivors of cancer or other issues with disabilities, right?
Right.
Who have stories but are afraid. And so there's this beautiful poem that I'll have to share the details with you later. But it basically says that you're not afraid of failure, you're afraid of success. And when you allow yourself
Hmm.
to shine, you allow others to shine as well. You give them permission to because you pave the way.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
Yeah,
this is your whole project. This is your whole mission, your whole message. No one's going to be comfortable coming forward and sharing if you aren't.
right.
You need to create that space and it starts with you.
Yeah, No, you're entirely correct. Yeah.
And Sam would totally go on as a guest too. By the way, the fact that I'm climbing this
Yes.
mountain, okay, to be fair, solo traveled in Italy 3 years ago, got the travel bug,
Right.
wanted to go way out of my comfort zone in terms of the fact that I'm a princess and in terms of the
I was gonna
fact
say that.
that I'm not outdoorsy and it was very expensive. But then it bugged me that I had bought these hiking boots and then I never went on that trip. I got a refund
Yep.
and I chickened out. I'm being perfectly honest. I chickened out at the end. That's the reality of what happened. That is not who I am, but I did chicken out. And every morning I would go into my closet and pick out my outfit, and my hiking boots would be mocking me because I made this commitment and I didn't follow through. And that ate at my soul. Okay. Then Sam comes into my life, already an inspiration, comes around the second time. I know he doesn't really like when people like focus too much on the fact that he has like an amputated leg, but that's a huge part of who he is and his story, and it's incredibly inspiring.
Hmm.
And I remember when he went up with that group of amputees to climb the mountain, and I thought, shit, I've got both my legs and I haven't climbed the mountain. Literally, like, what the fuck? Like, I was so inspired by him, and also like he in general as a human is just like, do it,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
If
Like,
you
just
have something that you want to do and you mention it to Sam, now you're gonna do it.
you're gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with Sam, I literally on the podcast, you heard me say,
Yes.
and I remember afterwards I reached out to the group who I'm going with, and I didn't hear from them for a few weeks. And
Thought you were off the hook.
oh no, oh well, I did my part. And then they got back to me and I was like, shit,
Now I gotta do it.
I'm climbing a mountain. I'm climbing a mountain. And so it's just more about that is what's so powerful about publicly in front of a camera
Yeah.
saying, I am going to do something. And that's why it's also so powerful to do before you do it, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
we've got proof and now you've got people rooting for you.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. No, that's entirely true. It's part of why
And
I
going
do
back
it.
to our earlier conversation, like as we've been pushing past the societal norms,
Mm-hmm.
haven't you noticed how many people live in a box that they've created for themselves?
Yes.
And it's just their own fears.
Yeah.
And the more you challenge yourself, don't you realize how much easier it is? Like, not that it's easy per se, but it's also not as hard as people think it is.
It gets easier.
The
Yeah.
fear in your head is a lot bigger than the reality of the challenges you're going to deal with.
Absolutely.
Like, you're going to
Yes.
have challenges in life regardless, and you are so capable.
But the anxiety is going to.
You're going to feel anxiety when you're doing it too. The amount of times when I have tried to figure out this podcast and I've been on the floor like a starfish, looking up at the sky, questioning my life choices.
Right.
Because when things go wrong and you don't know how to fix it and there's no one to help you fix it, and you just have to figure it out with the help of ChatGPT. But even ChatGPT sometimes there's only so much.
Right. No, you have to even know what your problem is in the first place to ask it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's the resilience.
Right. And that's the sort of magic of things is you have to have that piece.
Yeah.
Else you're not going to get through the other side of whatever you're facing. If it's childhood cancer,
Yeah.
trying to figure
Did
out
I tell you my
podcasts.
Zig Ziglar quote?
No.
I didn't. Zig Ziglar says, I might be paraphrasing, but if you have an idea for a business or a product that's not currently in existence, it's your moral obligation to make it a reality.
Okay.
And that has gotten me through a lot of tears and a lot of bleak nights, both with Lay Cafe and with my podcast, especially when something's like that important to you.
Yeah.
Just to give you an example with my podcast, I'm not making any money from it right now. It's completely a passion project.
Right.
And I remember I thought it was going to go viral immediately because I'm like, this is so great. How could it not? Like I was just not about myself, just
No,
I
but
loved what I
understand.
was building
Yeah.
so much. I saw the value in it so much. And like so what I decided to do was like, since I was new, before I released it to the public, I was building up a library of pre-recorded videos. So I had like 8
Okay.
videos ahead of time. So I released August 31st, 2023, but I started recording back in March.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I had months of videos and episodes recorded. Some of them I had to re-record because they got lost. Crazy stuff, right? And then I started releasing them out into the public, and it grew slowly,
Right.
very, very slowly. And the majority of the reason why it grew in the beginning was because it was literally me meeting people and being like, "Do you have Instagram? Do you have YouTube?"
Yeah.
And then forcing people to subscribe, right? And then now it's starting to slowly grow a little bit on its own, but even now it's still super slow. And that's okay. But
Right.
it's like that's why you have to be so purpose driven, because if you're waiting for the money or you're waiting for like others to give you validation,
Yes.
Sam is actually the one who taught me this. And I told you this at our meeting. He's like, with doing more and more episodes, or whether work, whatever it is, you're not guaranteed success, but you are guaranteed that you will get better.
Yeah. Very true too.
You know,
Yes.
like whether the community receives your project, which I think they will, but let's say, for example, worst case scenario, it doesn't take off, it doesn't get
Hmm.
popular, people don't receive it the way you want it to. You get a little bit of growth, but it's tiny, right?
Yeah.
For
That's
yourself, the fact that you're creating the space that you always wished you had,
that's it. That's all.
it's going to
That's
be
all
so
I
powerful.
need.
I know it's going to blow up. Like, I
Right.
know it. But I'm just saying, like, it might be a matter, it might happen quick, it might happen slow.
Yeah.
But what it will do is Ralph Waldo, I'm sorry, I'm like monopolizing, but
You're good.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said this quote that I really appreciated, which is, if one person breathes easier because of my existence, I have lived a life of
Yes.
purpose,
Yeah. That. Yeah.
even if
Just,
that life is yours.
even if I just exactly heal myself with this project, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Like if it's just some solo passion project, that's okay with me. But like, y- that's just it. Like the message for me, the purpose is enough to make me do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your moral obligation.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
That's a very interesting one.
yeah,
I've never thought of or tied it to like a moral obligation to, you know, do something. If you have a message, you now have to deliver it. Okay.
yeah. Because think about it. Let's say you're not the first cancer survivor. You're
Right.
not the first child cancer survivor, but you are the only you that ever was and ever will be.
Yeah.
And your unique flavor is so special. And so only you could think of it in the way that's done by you. We could have 10 of you doing the exact same thing and it's going to do totally different things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's like, that's why, even if you feel, let's say, like part of Babes in Business, one of the first meetups that we had, one of the girls, it was so inspiring to me because that group, you have women like us who are just starting, and you have women
Right.
who are like 30 years deep into their business, right?
Yeah.
And to hear them still have the same fears and anxiety is so relieving and also terrifying at the same time. You're like, it never ends. Um, but it's also calming because you're like, okay, so this is normal. It's a fear that we all have. We're human. But the cool thing is, your people will find you.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a saturated market,
Right.
right? Because we all need our people. There's 4 billion people in this world. Someone's going to need
Yes.
your version of what you are creating, and it is a gift that you are given the idea to do it,
Yeah.
which means it's your moral
Absolutely.
obligation to make it a reality.
It makes sense. Absolutely, it absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think it's a great mindset, or it's great mindset to like take forward and to use as a driver
Yeah.
for sure. So, very cool.
Do it. Okay, another question I had for you. Back to your story.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned that your spine
Uh-huh.
you said it was like Infused? I'm messing up.
Yes, it's
It's
fused.
fused, yeah.
So I have so because I was paralyzed, at a point I was paralyzed while going through growth spurts,
Mm.
so my spine grew curved.
Wow.
And uh I developed scoliosis, and it was severe enough that I needed spinal fusion. I got that at 23. And I mean, it's fused from top to bottom.
Wow.
I don't know the exact medical. I know there's like L1 to L3 or something. I don't actually know what mine are. So for anybody listening who knows medical terms, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's so real. Yeah.
But yeah, yep, it's fused. That was another period of uh just something really hard to get through. I mean, it was a summer of in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 3 months. It was supposed to be longer, but I corrected my spine corrected well enough that I got to get out a little early. Yeah, it was an event. It was, I don't know. It's fused now. Um, I just move a little differently because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's a
yeah.
lot to your story.
It's kind of never ending. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's okay. And it's
It's,
not at the same time.
well, and it's interesting, like, because there's all this medical stuff. And then, like, life still happens. Like, I've gone through all of this stuff, and also, you know this. I've been married and am now divorced, and like, yeah, there's resilience on that part as well. And like, so,
Is that something you're comfortable talking
oh
about?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So let's dive into that a little bit. How old were you when you got married?
I was 28 when I got married,
Okay.
and 31 when I got divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because something we had mentioned was that I've met quite a few people, unfortunately, who are divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And not one of them was like, yeah, I thought I would get divorced one day. No one goes into marriage thinking they're getting divorced.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really. Um, yeah. I would say that like actually even this is a part of like my project is like why I want people to work through some of the PTSD is because I think I was trying to heal a lot of my stuff with marriage.
Mm.
If somebody could just love me, maybe I could be whole and complete and not, I don't know. You know,
Love is
I
the answer,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
That happily
Yes.
ever after. Like all of this is just part of my story, and I'm going through all this challenge, but one day I'll find my
But
Prince
one
Charming,
day I'll have yeah,
and then everything will make sense.
right. Yep.
But then what was that reality like once you got married? I mean, how long were you dating beforehand?
Um, I think 2 years. Yeah, two
Okay.
years.
So did you guys live together before
We
marriage?
did for about a year.
Did you find that when you got married, anything really shifted because you had already been living together, or not really? Because it was just
I think the pandemic really shifted things. That's what
okay.
I would say. Like
Because at what point did the pandemic hit your relationship?
right a year into marriage.
Okay.
Or actually, we got married during the pandemic, but it got worse. Like we got married in October of 2020, and then
Right.
2021 things were weird. And then yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I have so many questions. No, because I relate to this a lot. Now, I've not gotten married,
Right.
but I relate to this concept of like thinking that, oh, if only I got married, someone would
Mm-hmm.
complete me or they would help me through whatever challenges I've been through. And I've had a perspective shift in two areas. I'll just share that personally. One is at 26, I kind of came to the I came to the conclusion that no man was coming to save me, right? And so, because I was just very single at that point, that was just my dating experience. And then I was like, okay, well, if I'm in this alone, let's fix this shit.
Right.
And then I went on that radical accountability of just like really taking that hard look in the mirror of like, here are the qualities that I want in a man. I'm very clear about that. Would that man want to date me?
Yeah.
And I didn't think he would, to be quite frank. So I was like, let's do the work.
Okay.
So there was that part. And then also just for myself, like the second part to that, that was a huge shift that just happened this year. So we're in June currently. January of this year, I had a mindset shift where like I had developed a crush. Ew.
I feel that so hard.
It's just like, ew,
Yeah.
why? Um, and I did not like how I was showing up with that person. It was like against everything that I said I believed in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
energy and wanting to be pursued. And like I was just coming on way too strong. And it was really coming from a fear of if I don't show up, will they be interested in me?
Right.
Will they remember my existence? Which is such low self-esteem. It's like ridiculous. And like obviously, what do you expect happened? I was coming on too strong. The energy shift happened where he wasn't pursuing, and then it just diminished, diminished,
Mm.
diminished until finally it was just like
Yep.
back to zero again, right?
Yep.
And I was left in this loop of being like, I feel this has nothing to do with him. This is just, if I were him, I would have had the same exact reaction, to be quite frank. It wasn't healthy. No one wants it on either side, right?
Right.
I've got this maturity click where it's like, I want to be whole. I want someone who's whole. We both are so purpose driven, and then we meet each other and we're compatible and we enhance each other's lives, but we're both still independent people where we're not relying on the other person for our self worth,
Right.
right? And that experience made me decenter men. Not that I'm not interested in men, I'm very interested in men.
Right.
But there's a difference where, like,
Yes.
they're there and I trust that if they're meant to be in my life, they will be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to like extend this crazy amount of energy and just lean back and let it be. What will be, will be.
Yes.
And it's a much healthier interaction that I've been having with men. I feel so much more at peace.
I can imagine. Yeah. No, that's like exactly my experience. Like where I was, and I hate that I did this because I very much call myself a feminist, but like I did center men for a very long time.
Mm.
And it's like, even like, when I was paralyzed as a kid, I just wanted to go to a dance so I could dance with a boy.
Yeah,
Like, but that's so normal,
that
right?
is so
There's nothing
normal.
wrong with it, but also that's a little girl's mindset. I'm a grown ass woman, darn it. I don't need to like worry about, oh, well, if I go to a dance, will a boy even dance with me? Who cares?
But that does matter though at the
It
same
does.
time, especially as a woman, because I think I don't care if you're a feminist or not.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're into men or women,
Hmm.
whatever it is. But I think men have this feeling as well. We all want to be chosen.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Yes.
the dream.
That's a
And when you're not,
human thing. That's not a
yeah,
gendered thing.
it's a
Yeah.
human experience that we all want to be chosen. And when you're not, you feel like that last kid being picked for kickball.
Yeah.
And then that's when the self-esteem comes in where you're like, why am I not chosen? Am I not good enough? What's wrong with me? And then the overcompensation.
So, and this is sort of what happens with, if you PTSD or something, because you want to be chosen so desperately, you will cling on to people who maybe like you probably
Mhm.
shouldn't.
Yeah. And
Um,
even if they're, here's the other caveat. I have so many friends who are so like team nakama that like if a guy's not interested in me, they're like, what a dick. What an asshole. He's the worst human ever, right? And I'm like,
Yes.
he's not. He's just not into me like that. And that's okay. I'm not every guy's dream girl. And that's okay. And I might be some guy's dream girl, but he's not my dream guy.
Right.
And so we're not a match. And
Yes.
that's okay. In Judaism, there's this Hebrew quote, which is Kasha Zevogam Kukriyas Yamsuf, which means finding your soulmate is as hard as splitting the sea.
Okay. Yeah.
In other words, we all know this. You want someone, they don't want you. They want you, you don't want them, right?
Normal.
Finding someone who you guys both like each other and it's actually a good match that's healthy for both of you
Oh
is
my
a
gosh.
miracle and it's a timing thing. And I think a lot of us expect to find it young.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, then we're like, well, there must be something wrong with
You think
us.
there's a
But
timeline?
it's going back to that Alex Hormozy thing where it's like, why don't we apply the same concept with business to relationships where it's not like a timeline thing? It will happen when it's supposed to happen. Because, like, for example, you and I, very similar stories, which is so
Mm-hmm.
fun to find about our mentality about our purpose in life, our mentality about love, our mentality about our love worth for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I personally, I mean, you've been in a relationship, but like who you are now and who you will bring to the next relationship, who I've become.
Yeah.
It's not like I've been this person and like, oh, how can she still be single? I wasn't like this when I was
No, I mean,
younger.
I wasn't even like this when I got married.
Right.
Like, yeah.
This happened because of challenges
Mm-hmm.
and good things and choices and self-work. And it's like, I wasn't this person.
Yeah.
So even if I met the man who was supposed to be my husband when I was 22, he probably would have been like, nope,
Right.
it
Because it
wasn't the right time.
wasn't.
And I'm sure whoever he is developing and becoming his person that he needed to become
Yeah. He's
and is
coming
becoming.
the person that you need
It's
when you
that
meet
red
him.
string
Like,
theory where it's like
yes.
we'll meet when we're supposed to. I'm a
Yes.
big believer in that. And like that's why like I'm not on the dating apps
Same.
for various reasons.
Yeah, no.
But a big part of it is that like I believe that if I'm meant to meet I'm not into numbers, I'm not into rosters. I don't need a million guys. I just need one. And so like I believe that whether it's him looking at me and finding me attractive or me looking at him and finding him attractive, when are we most beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
When are we most attractive? When we are living our purpose, that is so attractive.
Yes.
Whether it's friendship, business, romantic, like that is when we look at someone, we're like, yeah, wow.
Well, and that's, that goes along with that quote that I kind of shared of to be rather than seem to be. I
Yeah.
want to fall in love with someone who actually is instead of what they seem to be.
And to be fair, on dating apps, I think there's a lot of amazing men. Personally believe that. I just don't think they're showing up as the best version of themselves on dating apps. And I don't even just mean how they're projecting, although that is, if any men need help, I can help you. I'm really good at fixing apps. I did that with the guy I dated. We were in a match, but then I fixed his dating
Yeah,
app after.
but let me help you out.
For the next, help a sister out, help the next girl.
Yeah.
But then the thing is though, whether you're a man or a woman, when you're going onto a dating app, it's usually because you're feeling a little lonely, needing a little validation, feeling a little sad.
Mm-hmm.
Your energy space is
Not good.
not good.
No.
Because if you're having a great day and you're feeling confident, you're feeling
You're not
attractive,
going on a dating
you're
app?
not going on a dating app. That's not what you're doing. You're living your life. You go on
Yeah.
the dating app when you don't feel like your life is where you want it to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
maybe you just came back from a wedding and you're feeling sad because everyone's all coupled up and you're like, I need to find someone. Not a good space. But like, I don't know, life is miraculous. Sometimes you're just keep on living, man. You'll find your person.
It's yeah,
Or
if
you
you're
won't.
in the spaces that like you yourself need to be in, like the gym, for example, I don't know, if you just make sure you're in the places you need to be, if you the gym, church, wherever, to meet your person, yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah. And
Trying to
just
force it with I don't know. I'm weird about dating apps. I have never done it.
ever?
So, no. I don't know what they're like. That seems like a scary place.
Dating apps, I would say for some people it might be the right thing. And I think it all depends on your energy, right? For
Mm-hmm.
me, I went on a dating app. I went on Bumble 2 years ago at this point because I had been single for 3 years. Hadn't even dated anyone, like nothing. Partially by choice, partially not by choice, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
My energy was very closed off for sure. I wasn't putting myself out there at all.
I yeah.
And I was scared, and I was kind of in this loop where I was so focused on my self-development. And sometimes that can be a crutch as well, where
Mm-hmm.
you're like hiding behind, oh, I'm still working on myself. But it's like, I have a friend who we were talking recently. I'm going to digress for a moment. And she feels pressure to get married and or at least be in a relationship. And one of the reasons why she's currently not in a relationship is she's working through her finances right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels not comfortable being in a relationship until she has that all settled and worked out. I was like, okay, let me challenge that thought process for a moment because it's responsible what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not taking action to fix your circumstances. If the roles were reversed and you were doing really well financially and you met someone incredible, they were working their way out of debt and they were taking the responsible action towards that, would you really not be in a relationship with them because of that?
Right.
She didn't even blink. She was like, "No, I would totally be in a relationship with them." And I'm like, "Don't you deserve that same love?"
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And like throughout a marriage, like happened in my parents' marriage, it happens to a lot of people. People have ups and downs, whether it's health, whether it's um finances, like there's life be lifing.
Oh yeah.
You are never going to be perfect, and you might
No.
have little moments of perfection, right?
Yeah.
But like I think the idea is to find someone who you can deal with life's challenges with.
Yeah.
And I think the key is finding someone who's on a growth-oriented process, right? Because if you're both givers and you're both growth-oriented, then I think while it may not be perfect, it's gonna be pretty damn amazing, I think.
And I'm gonna completely agree with you. I think that that piece that okay, well I may not be perfect and you may not be perfect, but we're both clearly working towards just getting better
Yeah.
all the time at like whatever we can. Then yeah, that's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And I think the first step is like I feel such a relief even just speaking that out loud, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
doesn't that feel so much better to be like, wait,
Well, it's funny that
yeah,
you've a little bit like again found another one of my sort of like limiting thoughts of because so it's been a little over a year since I got divorced and I until 3 weeks ago when I got laid off, like I was just starting to think about maybe I'll date again. I don't know, maybe because I've been like I just want somebody to share some time with. I just want to go out to dinner and like talk about things and like I like going to music. I want somebody to share time with.
dating is fun.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and so but now lately I've been like I can't start dating because I just got laid off. I don't have a job right now. Like, wait, what do those two things have to do with each
Yeah, well,
other?
I think it's also like, what's my worth?
Yeah,
Like, what do I have to offer right now?
right.
But it's
Yes.
like, does a baby need to do anything to be loved?
No.
So, like, why is it that, like, as we grow up, we feel that we need to,
Yeah, prove that I'm worthy.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's sort of it goes along with the burden complex that I mentioned at the beginning, because I for a long time felt that I bring this burden, so I have to bring all this extra worth to make up for the burden.
Yeah.
And I know that I was not the only, survivor of cancer who felt that, or whether somebody else is like a veteran or something and they feel that. Um, yeah,
When in doubt, the last resort you can always think about is that Sam would not dedicate 10 years of his life to
right.
you if he didn't think that you were someone worth dedicating
Well,
time
that's
towards.
fair.
Sam's very much like he has a heart of gold, but I also feel like he has a bullshit meter where he doesn't tolerate
Yes.
people who he doesn't feel are worth something,
Yeah, that's true.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
A lot of times, so when I lost my first job, I had already kind of built up this faith toolkit to tap
Hmm.
into. And it's okay to feel our feelings too. You're
Yes.
not always going to be this like positive mindset guru, right?
Right.
So like I would tell myself in the time when I lost my job and I didn't have another one secured yet and I wasn't making any money, I was like, what you're feeling is human, but it's
Mhm.
not reality because I'm a big believer that life is happening for you. So there is this big picture.
Yeah.
And sometimes God needs to kick you out of the wrong situations to create space for the right one to come in, for the right person, the right job, the right friendship, whatever.
Hmm.
And there's whispers, right? Like you probably knew your corporate job wasn't right for you,
Yeah.
but you stayed for healthcare, for being a responsible adult. You had built this lifestyle that you needed to be able to pay for, right?
Right.
And now you're kicked out of that. And it's scary, but it's exciting
Yeah.
because it created that space and this momentum to, for example, work on this project that you're going to have up and running in a week that you've been thinking about for
For
years.
years. Right.
And isn't it amazing how sometimes what could happen in like a week is more than what can happen in years of your life?
It is. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of crazy to think that there are, you know,
Yeah.
I,
If you wanted to approach dating apps, going back to that for a
Mhm.
second, just for funsies, by the way, I think you
You
should do
think
it
so?
just for funsies. Go on Hinge. That's the good
Oh
one.
gosh.
Yeah, go on Hinge.
See, like starting the resilience project sounds less
It's the same thing. This is resilience.
scary.
Here's your perspective. You're not going on there to meet your husband, and
Right.
you're not going on there to get dates. What you're doing is you're doing a social experiment.
I can approach that much better. Yeah.
Okay. You're going to get on there and you are going to see how men show up and you're going to have fun with it. And you are going to practice talking to
Okay.
them
Yeah.
and just have fun with the energy. You want to have experiences, you want to share time with someone, you're going
Right.
to get some dates. Not to find your husband,
But just for some practice of like,
practice because when the real guy comes along, whether it's
yeah,
through the dates or whether it's through real life,
you're right.
this way you're not like, this was advice that was given to me. And I was like, oh, that's a good approach. Because if otherwise you've put this man on this huge pedestal,
That's
and
true.
let's say, for example, you're at the gym. This gorgeous hunk of man comes over to you. He's got purpose, he's got drive, he sees you, you feel seen by him, but then you self-sabotage because you're like, I'm so nervous, I don't know how to do this, I'm not deserving.
And that's mean
Versus
to a T. Yeah.
versus if you're just talking to guys and you're just like, get to know people. I just want to practice talking. I just want to connect with people. And like if it doesn't work out, that's dating. It's not going to work out with everyone,
That's very
but
true.
I'm going to learn something from every
Hmm.
person that I date. For example, a big thing that I do when I date guys is I always ask them for a book recommendation because at the very least, at least I get something out of it.
I like that. That gives you a little bit of insight too, of like
Yeah.
what.
It it just takes the fear
Yeah.
out of it. It's that immersion therapy. Like you are dating.
Yeah.
You are dating. You're putting yourself out there. You're meeting people. This is good practice for your podcasting skills, for just like learning
Right.
about people's stories. Maybe they know someone who could come on. Like this is just networking, to be quite frank.
You're not wrong.
You can just
Yeah,
have
that's
fun
very
with it.
true.
You know?
Maybe I'll try it. I'll try it.
I
I
could
gotta
help you
get
ma I
some.
could help you make your
I need some help. I'm gonna need some like help figuring out the profile stuff.
I could help you with that.
Okay,
We could have a
cool.
lot of fun with it. And what's cool is that since you're so intentional now, you're no longer in a space of, I just got laid off 3 weeks ago. What you are is you're an entrepreneur
Right.
with a purpose, a mission, and drive.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can go on dates and be like, I have all this, my degree is in computer programming, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a software engineer and I'm utilizing that skill to bring my mission to the world.
Yeah.
It's a different story. It's a reframe, and it's also the truth.
Yeah. I mean, yes. That's exactly what's happening right
And
now.
you're 32 years old. Do you think that guys on that dating app have an experience being laid off? That could be a talking point.
I have no. That's true.
And I have heard on TikTok that guys love when girls are like in between jobs because then they get to step into the hero role,
Oh gosh.
get some free dinner.
We'll see. Yeah, but yeah, it might be worth trying. Just
You can
like,
delete it at any point.
yeah,
The power is completely, literally within your hands.
I just like meeting people, and yeah, I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't know, I'm actually enjoying people and being around them again. So
Yeah.
I want to do that. Yeah.
Yay! You're like, oh God, this girl. What did I step into? I was just here
She's
for
like,
an interview. Another next thing you know, I'm like launching all these things.
again, I don't know why, but like get getting over, starting a new project or an entrepreneurial thing somehow feels less um intimidating than like trying to put myself out there on a dating profile. And
It's
I
all,
can't figure out why that
I
is.
think it's the story you tell yourself, right? It's almost back to that whole thing of what if I put myself out there and no one wants me?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
if I'm not chosen again? What if I get rejected?
yeah, yes,
So then I will challenge you because I could sit here and be like, no, it's not going to happen, but I'm not going to do that. What if that happens?
that's a good point. But like,
Is that
so what?
yeah, you're single right now. If you
It
go
doesn't
on
change
there
anything.
and no one wants to date you,
Doesn't change anything. Right.
do you
Yeah.
really think that makes you less worthy if a guy on
No,
a dating app doesn't want to date you?
no,
And do you really think that that's really going to happen? You really think you're going to get like zero dates?
yes,
You really think that?
no, I don't.
There's a lot of people out there. You're so pretty and you're smart and you have a great heart
Thank you.
and you have such a cool mission that you're working on.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're
Well,
worthy of love.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah.
And if they reject you or if they don't go out with you, that's not a sign of you being less. That's just them not getting the opportunity to know you because it's literally just an app,
Yeah.
right? Like they didn't get to know the entirety of you and then rejected you,
Right.
you know?
I think yeah, that's perhaps the thing that's like kept me off of the apps is because I've always perceived it as a rejection of myself.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's just a rejection of a like profile. They don't know you.
No, and a lot of them are swiping so fast anyways.
Yeah.
And like some of them swipe just to get accepted and then they peace off.
It's weird.
It's weird. And you know what? You can tell yourself too, like there can be very like strict guidelines that you do to protect yourself.
Okay.
Like for example, you could say I'm going to do it for a month.
Yeah.
And because you want to meet people.
Right.
And if that isn't a catalyst that helps you meet people within a month, delete it.
That's a good point.
You don't need to use it forever.
Right.
So do it for a month. If it doesn't bring you any dates in a month, okay. Now you could say you tried it and it wasn't for you. And
Very true.
that's okay. And I also would suggest creating like timelines of when you go on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't check it all day every day.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, I
Okay.
check it from these dates.
Uh-huh.
And when you're having conversations with guys, I would also very early on say, hey, I'm not really into like digital connections. I would love to just meet up and see if there's a connection. And if not,
Yeah.
just kind of move on. Like having that really clear
just setting some firm boundaries from like get go.
Yeah.
Understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I don't know. It's
I had a lot of wild stories from when I did that. It was fun.
we'll have to after I do this for a month or so, we'll talk again.
Yeah.
Tell you how it goes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm very curious. I think it's gonna be fun and it's just it's a social experiment.
It is. Well, I mean, and that's everything I'm doing now at this point is an experiment. Like the Resilience Project started out as in my head, a resilience experiment. Because I don't know, that's how I've always approached things is try this, see what happens, and then try again. Yeah.
This is part of your resilience project.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's all part of the same thing.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in like trying things once. Like, for example, going to this mountain thing. I don't know if I'm an outdoorsy person. This may start a new love for the outdoors, or I may say, hell no, one and done, never again.
Right.
But I tried it.
Yeah.
No one could tell me I didn't try it.
No, absolutely.
And like, I'm sure you've heard so many things good and bad about dating apps, let's say specifically, where it's like, that's their experience. What's your experience going to
Right.
be like? Only you'll know that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. Yeah, it's funny the world we live in now where, like dating is done on apps but I don't know.
It doesn't have to be, you know? Like,
No.
again, this
Yeah.
literally could just be a platform for you to be so used to talking to guys that when a guy meets you in person, you're just like, oh, I'm so used to being in this mindset.
And that's what I'll wind up approaching it as of
Yeah.
like, oh, this is practice talking to people.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I would love to turn, my stuff into a podcast. And you have to be pretty good at talking to people.
You do. And it's all about the questions you asked. Like, that was something that I did when I was on the dating apps that I had a lot of fun
Mhm.
with, where I was like, I would ask questions in different ways to see like what kind of reactions, like how can I get guys to open up? And
Okay.
instead of making it about me, I made it all about them.
Yeah.
That's another really good way to like take a lot of pressure off yourself, where it's like, I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
instead of, oh, I hope you like me, because that's what everyone's thinking. It's more of like, I want to get to know you and your
That
story
makes
and what
sense.
sets your soul on fire, which is just practice for you and your podcast
Uh-huh.
skills. But also, like, it will tell you a lot about them because the beauty is humans love to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
So the guys will find that refreshing because they'll be like, okay, yeah, here's all about me, right? And then you can sit back and learn a lot about them and see if they're the right fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about if they like you. It's like, are you the right fit for me? I'm going to sit back and listen. Show me who you are. And then also, you'll be able to see when you're asking these amazing questions, are they ping ponging back and asking you questions about yourself?
Right.
Or are they using this as an opportunity to just,
Grandstanding. Yeah.
yeah, and that will tell you a lot. So instead of it being worried about, will they reject me? Are you going to reject them?
Oh, that's a yeah
You know?
point. I never think about that. Right.
Social
Mm.
experiment. I'm telling you, it's like you never know. So
Yeah,
why not?
it's absolutely. I think it's
Yeah.
worth a shot.
We've talked about so many different topics
We
today.
have.
Is there anything that like you were hoping to discuss that maybe we haven't really talked about yet?
Um, I don't think so. I really just wanted to talk mostly about, the project and getting started with it. I love that you had me on at the beginning of my project because, yeah, I think exactly what you said. Like, I want to document it.
Yeah, 6 months from now we'll do another one. We'll
I
see
think
where you're
that's
at with it.
perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you'll be having me on as a
Oh,
guest.
hopefully.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So my last question for you is we kind of touched it before, but now like at the end of our conversation, 10 years from now, not just the resilience project, but really like life,
Hmm.
if no scarcity mindset, abundance mindset, where would you like your life to be like 10 years from now?
I mean, 10 years from now, I either want to be running a resilience project like organization, and like a full-on outreach org that's doing something for, children in hospitals, but also working with adult survivors on their careers or dating advice for them or all sorts of things that you never think of for survivors. Would love to run an org that
Ah,
does all that.
yes.
Um, yeah, that's what I want. Um, I don't know. I don't think about anything else. That's that's where I'm
Girl, I'm
at.
with you. I used to like every 11/11, every birthday wish, every
Yeah,
like high holy holiday, I'd always be like, give me a husband, give me a husband. And now I'm all like, Lake Cafe, Lake Cafe, Lake
yeah,
Cafe. Like that's all I
yeah.
want. Lake Cafe on my podcast. Like it's so wild how like truly men have been decentered, where it's like I would love love, but I love who I am and I love what
But
I'm
I really
creating.
like what I'm doing.
And like I
Yeah.
love love as long as it doesn't take away.
Yes.
I think where I'm at with my fear with relationships right now is that I'm afraid of, I'm so
Mm,
hungry. I'm so hungry to create this that I'm afraid that a relationship would detract from it.
now that's an interesting fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Because sometimes what's happened with me before in the past when I like a guy, and this comes with me centering my life around them, then all of a sudden I'm not as passionate.
About whatever you were looking into in the first place. And I've done that before too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
got
hard.
I got interesting advice from someone actually. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna follow it or not, but he was basically when like I had told him all about my drive and my passion and my vision. It's like an older gentleman. He's like, let me tell you something. Men have a way of distracting you from your purpose and your vision. He's like, go all in, focus on it, make it happen, and then they're gonna flock to you like magnets, and you'll already have been in it. So I don't know if this is a self-limiting belief that I have or not. I'm trying to figure that out, but
Hmm.
it's like it would have to be one hell of a man. I'll put it that way. Because
Yeah.
I love this so much, and he'd have to be one hell of a man.
And I think that's the reframe that I've gone through recently.
Hmm.
Is as much as I would love to I just want to date, but there's I'm enjoying my life by myself so much
Yeah.
that for me to I don't know, yeah, it would just be a really
Yeah.
big change to try to shift around
It's
some
a
of this.
weird thing because I think we're still humans. We still need people. We want to
Yeah.
share our life with someone. We want to share those moments with someone. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Love is amazing. When it's going well, it's the best. You know, dating is fun. But there's also when you learn to enjoy life on your own, there's a certain peace
Hmm.
that's so precious. Because it's like there's, I don't know, sometimes you're not 100% going to be aligned with the person you're dating. And so, like, if there's something that you really love to do and they don't want to do, it's quite disappointing.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
almost lonelier than the loneliness of being
it
single.
is. I will speak from experience on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, he'd have to be one hell of a man. Am I closed off? I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit. It's okay. If it's meant, listen, God has taught me one thing in my life, which is that Doesn't matter what I want. When he wants me somewhere,
Yeah, it's
it
gonna
will
happen.
happen. It
It'll
will
happen.
happen. So if God really wanted me married, I'd be married. So like I said, he'll be one hell of a man.
Great. Yeah.
This has been so much fun. I really love getting to know you, and I'm so excited because I think this is going to be more than
Yeah.
just a podcast, guys. I think this is the beginning of a really strong friendship. So I'm
Great.
excited.
Yeah.
I wanted to end off by saying that I have this tradition with all my guests. There's this Hebrew quote, which is "Eze hu Chacham, halomid mikol adam," which means one who is wise as one who learns from everyone. And we
Mm-hmm.
have learned so much from you, and we have so much more to learn from you in the future. But for this episode, if there's just one last life lesson or quote that you want to share.
There is. Unfortunately, though, I cannot remember the name of the man who said it. He was a samurai in Japan. And the quote is basically saying, "The house having burned down, now I can see the moon." So the house burned down, but now I can see the moon and the stars. So that's kind of nice. So this terrible tragedy happens, but I'm gonna take a moment and just appreciate this beautiful thing that now I can see. Yeah.
That is literally like the whole theme of everything we've been talking about
Yeah.
today, and is so powerful. It's all about the reframe, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I think like here's the thing. Someone, I'm not going to call their name. I know you're going to be listening to this episode. You'll remember this conversation that we just had. He said to me, I was panicking about life, dissociating, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. And he had a moment with me to sit down and just be like, "Okay, let's talk this through." And I was saying how everything's going to be okay. And he's like, "And it's okay if it won't be." I was like, "No, no." I've been thinking about it more, and I hear where he's trying to come from,
Yeah.
but I disagree with you. And here's why. Going back to my Kabbalah roots, my energy roots, I'm a big believer in energy and everything's working out for me. So, what may appear to be bad or challenging, like us burning down,
Mm-hmm.
gives an opportunity for something else.
Yes.
And so, it's not that I'm focusing on clenching onto this must be okay. It's just that I believe overall it will be. And when you have that perspective, I think you see opportunities.
Yes. Yeah.
Abundance versus scarcity.
Yeah. And it's, not to say that tragic things don't happen. Of course they do. But to notice the abundance around you, it doesn't mean that it's not happening, but it does mean that you're focusing on that
Yeah,
instead. Yeah.
this has been so great.
Great. It's been
Okay.
awesome. Thank you.
I want my audience to support you, but we haven't created everything
We'll
yet.
get there. Right.
So the website's pending, right? Because you're still working on
Yes.
building it.
Yep.
Um, I am gonna try to push you to have your at
Okay.
least Instagram and TikTok set up, so at least we can like plug that for people
I
to
can do that.
follow.
Yeah.
And then, so we're not gonna say them out loud right now, but I will have them listed in the bio below for you guys to follow.
Okay.
Because
Sounds good.
this is going to be something big and you want to be here for it. So,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you. This was amazing. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Well, guys, this has been another amazing episode. I had such a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed listening or watching. If you're not currently watching, the video is on Spotify and YouTube. And if this meaningful, I get so caught up in the end. If this episode was meaningful for you, please share this with a friend. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Please go subscribe, especially on YouTube. That's where I'm trying to get monetized. So that'd be great. And I hope this was a great episode for you. Hope you guys have a great week. Let's get it. Let's go.